Staff or volunteers here in the audience, I'd like to acknowledge you. If you could please stand. These are the folks that help us run the day-to-day. They get projects done, they build things, they do research, they clean things, they do all kinds of stuff. So we want to thank all these folks for all that they do for the Historical Society. Round of applause. I think this is the first time I can say we've got like a full roster of volunteers right now, which is pretty exciting. I think we've got nearly half a dozen of them helping Ruth out. Let me tell you, she needs all of them. There's a lot going on with collections right now, so that's okay. So I'm going to turn this over now that we've got the welcome done. Kate's going to run the business meeting, and we'll tag in as we need to here. Kate.
Thank you. And at this point, I'd like to call this business meeting of the Nicollet County Historical Society to order. This is our annual membership meeting. And the first order of business is to approve the agenda. You see the agenda here. And I will entertain a motion once you have a chance to look.
All the floors.
On the floors makes the motion. Do I hear a second? All right, and Ms. Chamberlain has seconded. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda that is before you. All in favor, please. Oh, wait first. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, then all in favor of approving this agenda, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. The motion is carried. Our next order of business is the Secretary's report. And Dan Elias will read your report.
All right, the Nicollet County Historical Society annual meetings from Sunday, March 26, 2023, 1:30 p.m. at the Treaty Site History Center. The Historical Society annual meeting was called to order 134 by President Kate Martins. The agenda was approved. Secretary's report. Historical Society Secretary Dana Milius read the minutes from the 2022 annual meeting, which were approved. Treasurer's report. Outgoing Nicollet County Historical Society Treasurer Ken Russell presented the Treasurer's report and said that despite a couple of huge capital improvement projects, about $55,000 for roof repairs to the Treaty Site building, about $40,000 painting of the Cox House, along with the dip of some $19,000 in the Mars and Powers Fund due to the market declines, the Nicollet County Historical Society remains in solid financial condition. The two-page financials were presented as part of the meeting packet. The Nicollet County Historical Society had 2022 revenues of $261,625 with a boost of $82,454 in federal COVID support. Expenses totaled $240,344. The Nicollet County Historical Society balance sheet as of December 31st, 2022 was also presented with total society assets at $1,154,792. The Treasurer's report was approved. Executive Director Jessica Becker and President Kate Martins presented a year in review report. For the first full year being open since the COVID shutdown, over 2,800 individuals attended the museum, and it was a record year for field trips. Most often handled by James Erke, Operations Coordinator. Besides the Nicollet County Historical Society sponsored events during 2022, the Board of Directors held 2 strategy retreats and committee restructuring, and new mission and vision statements. But it was mentioned that there remain facilities challenges with both the Treaty Site History Center and the Cox House, as well as on the development side. How do we build the Nicollet County Historical Society? There are currently 252 members. Elections: Scott Hermanson of St. Peter and John Hurd of North Mankato were newly elected to the board by voice vote, and Tammy Skinner of St. Peter was elected to a full second term. Officer candidates were elected as follows: President Kate Martins, Vice President Tammy Skinner, Treasurer Den Schmidt, Secretary Dana Milius, outgoing Treasurer Ken Russell was thanked for his service. Special thanks was also mentioned for outgoing board member Ray Jacobson for his years of service and volunteer. The annual meeting portion of the afternoon was adjourned to 12 p.m. Special guest speaker following the annual meeting was Steve Ketchum, a retired teacher and collector, who gave a presentation on the history of the patent medicine industry. Special note, the 2022 annual report is available in digital format on the Nicollet County Historical Society website. Physical copies will be presented upon request. Respectfully submitted, Dana Milius, Secretary.
All right. And we would entertain a motion to approve the secretary's report. So moved, Ryan. And do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion?
Yeah.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor of approving the secretary's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Then the motion is carried. Thank you very much. All right, now we have the most exciting part of the meeting, the treasurer's report. Deb.
Trying to look right and lay my sheets. That's okay. Okay, you have a couple pages in there. Your first page of the financials are some pie graphs for you on revenue and expenses. And they're up there for you to take a look at. We've had a pretty good year financially. One thing you noted in the minutes is that a year ago, Ken had commented about COVID money. We're out of that COVID phase. Those dollars are gone, so this is what it looks like right here. We have revenue of $224,529.33, and we have the expenses of $232,629.99. So, okay, so you're helping flip there.
That's what I have.
Okay, so I guess just looking over the whole thing, if you've got any questions on that. Your other page, okay. The other page that you have is our asset page. And if you take a look at that, and also in last year's minutes, it was mentioned about the Mears Power, how that had decreased. If you look down 1, 2, 3 lines on that asset page, you will see the 2022, where Mears Power was at the end of December a year ago, and now the end of December for 2023, we've made a pretty good recovery on the Mears Power. It's come back. And I'm referring to this page right now, your assets page, under current assets, that third line down. So if we take a look at that, you can see we made a nice recovery with the markets coming back for us. That gives us a total assets of $1,067,741.10. And with those numbers, I guess if they want to go into the secretary's minutes, you've got the numbers right there printed before you. Some general things, again, out of COVID, we did see membership numbers increased, and we also, admission had increased from a year ago. Memberships had increased, so this really sets us up for a pretty good year financially. So, are there any questions? Okay, there's the revenue another time. You've got these pie graphs in your chart.
And the graphs as well.
Yeah. So, any questions? If not, I'll put it back to Kate.
Right. I am going to first do a little disclaimer. You have no idea how talented this staff is, particularly our executive director, because we had technical difficulties 15 minutes ago, and yesterday the website crashed, and we are all here, and we have visuals. They may not be absolutely clear for you, but you have all the information you need. On which case, I will entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Motion.
So moved, and a second? Okay, your name? All right, and is there any discussion on the secretary or the treasurer's report? Hearing none, will all in favor of approving the treasurer's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Thank you. Motion carried. All right. Now, we're going to attempt to do something about a year in review, but first of all, I want to make a fashion statement.
Ooh, yeah, modeling.
I want you to understand that this was planned, this was not accidental, and you may all have your very own Nickel County t-shirt. They're in the store, in the lobby, and this is just a sales gimmick. We are planning ahead. And just because I'm on a roll here, before we go into our year in review, we have the same logo on cups if you'd rather not wear a t-shirt. And those are out there for your sale, for your purchase as well today. Nickel County is up and coming in branding.
Thanks for the design, Eileen.
Yes, absolutely. Eileen did that, and we owe her debt gratitude as always. All right, so the year in review. You want to go?
We're reviewing. Hopefully there are visuals. As she mentioned, we had some technical difficulties. But it was really exciting. We were planning on hosting you in the programming room, and so many of you RSVP'd, we had to put you back over here where we've always done stuff. So things changed a little as we went with the day. So anyway, we had a great year. 2023 was a great year. We had built upon success from 2022, which was awesome. We had 2,900, just a little over 2,900 visitors come to the site. So here in the Cox House, we don't actually have attendance for Traverse to Sioux. There used to be a trail kind of out there, the deer kicked it or something, I don't know. And then we had over 700 people on group tours and field trips to both the sites as well. So that was pretty exciting for us. We also had a really great year as far as donations into the archives and into the collection. These are just 3 small samples of the tons of artifacts and photos and other pieces of history that came in. 85 donations means that 85 people donated any number of things during the year, and it's really wonderful. So this was really exciting for us. If you're following along the newsletter, you'll also see that Ruth usually features some of them. When we do the quarterlies, we also, if you go to the website, we've got a spot that collects the different pieces of the collection. You can go and see the highlights in there, and we talk about some of the really fun things we see. So we have that going on. And we also hosted some exhibits last year. The 2 new ones that we had were Adelaide Magner's portrait landscape ash can artist. That was lovely. We're really getting into those art exhibits recently. Again, thanks to Eileen for all of her work during COVID on researching all of the artists in Nicollet County. How many binders? 13 4-inch binders, I think. Your artist project, 13 4-inch binders? Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So if you ever need to, want to, she's got it all in there. So we are really excited that we got to feature Adelaide. She was very interesting. The other exhibit we did, if you look at the Cortland piece in the middle there, that photo, we partnered with Nicollet County Farm Bureau, an exhibit long in the making, to put together a centennial and sesquicentennial farm exhibit. Each of the townships has a featured farm family. We also have some really fun other agricultural items on display. And then the other 2, we did Fort Ridgely, and of course you're in Gerbers and Bobblers right now. This one will be ending here at the end of the May, and we'll have formally rotating as we need it. We have Camilla Hall, of course, on display now that depicts Adelaide, and the Farm Bureau exhibit goes through the end of June. We also had some really fun programs. Thanks to everyone who attended programs with us, whether it was film series or Shadows at the Crossing, or if you were at the Cox House for changing times or past times, things like that. We had a really fun time. Go back one. We had a really fun time doing some of the antique dresses up at the Cox House. Some of the oldest dresses we have in our collection are the two that are pictured in that bottom corner. And then we also had a lot of fun for Super Snow Saturday, where we cut out little Bigfoots, little Yeti feet, and the kids got to stomp around the museum with those. It was a lot of fun. Yes. We also had some big projects that we were doing along the way here. You may have, if you've seen us writing about things or showing pictures in newsletters or on our Facebook channels, we did a lot of moving and shaking with spaces in the museum over the last year. The back room overhaul was one of them. We are a little crowded. We are fortunate to have lots of wonderful people who donate things, so we needed to bring a whole bunch of stuff out of the workshop area. As you can see, Ruth kind of set up a computer, and we were just going through and making sure that we had everything getting back to where it needed to be, and going through doing conditions assessments and things like that as we were shuffling spaces around to make a bit more room in some tight spaces. You can see we're trying to set ourselves up for success in the other photo for a workshop area where we can build exhibits, work on lawnmowers, that kind of thing. Spaces were kind of running together a bit. We are missing a slide, but that's okay. I don't think it's in there. I think it just deleted itself. Who knows? Technical difficulties. So tonight you can get a chance to actually see one of them if you'd like. We did a big makeover in the Josie Stone room up front. So the Mackenzie room is the research center that Ruth has her office in, but the public side is the Josie Stone room. And we were desperate for more space, and we were fortunate enough that when Scholarship America was moving, they had all kinds of their office furniture, cubicle stuff on sale for $2, $3, $5, and so we were able to completely switch out that room for about $86, and we had a donor cover the whole thing. So all of the new furniture in that space and all of the redo we did in the shared space office we have as well was all covered for free. If you get a chance, we're really loving the way the space ended up. It's a lot more user-friendly. We're able to help folks a lot easier. We just line things up a lot better as well. So if you get a chance, Bob Sandine can show you what's going on in there. He's in the back of the room over there. We can show you that tonight. We have a couple of other volunteers who do a lot of work in there as well. We can show you some of the changes. It's made life a lot easier for us. So thanks to everyone for that. We also had just a few other projects that we did over the year here. We got new lights in the parking lot, so it's not orange when you leave at night anymore. They look like normal parking lot lights. We also got the bandwagon moved here. It is back. It had been back here since sometime in the 90s when we were restoring it. Right now it is we'll call it a makeshift beer wagon. We have every intention of turning it back into a bandwagon for an exhibit this summer. And you can see James modeling there in the last photo, putting together some of the new tables that we received through some grant funding. So we were pretty excited to have those. They are space saving as well. On display for your pleasure here is one of said tables. It flips on its side and it's space saving. We love it. We can go through that one because we already went through that one. We're going the wrong way.
One more.
There you go. That one's yours.
Suspense. All right. So these are the outreach programs that we do. The first picture here up on the top is the Nicollet County Fair. Presence that we maintain. Now, we changed our location this year, and we're still kind of not sure exactly where we belong at the fair. We're not necessarily settled anywhere, so we will take any suggestions and help. But the kids had a great time because we were right next to the petting zoo and all all of the animals. So, and then this is the Wachipi, the powwow in Mankato. We have an education table in the education tent every year, in which we have our commemorating controversy exhibit displayed, and we get a lot of people coming through and looking at that piece. When they're at the powwow. And down here, this is the first Indigenous Joy Day at the St. Peter High School, and there were about 600 students that went past this is our commemorating controversy poster display, and the high school population went through and saw our display on Indigenous Joy Day during that outreach day. Yes. Okay, so we do need to thank our volunteers. Could I have them stand again, please? Because I don't think you understand how well represented we are with volunteers. Please stand up. Stand up. That's not a volunteer, that's a voluntold. Thank you. This is in my tenure, this is the first year where we have enough volunteers at the front desk while we're open, and they're very caring, gracious, wonderful people, and we get great compliments on our front desk people, and then we have the rest of the volunteers. You take that.
I can't say it a whole lot better than that, but thank you to everybody who just does whatever they can to help make things work around here with the small staff that we have. So you can see in that upper corner that is Margot and Jennifer and Nita, and they are working in the revamped archives up there in the Josie Stone room. And that is Takara Olson. She is a volunteer at the Cox House. She is also a blacksmith, if anyone ever wants to see fire. Bob and Lynn. Lynn is working with our new library scanner that we were able to purchase through donated funds. So we have the ability to scan some of the larger newspaper items that we have clipped in the collection. That way then we have those digitized and we can make sure that those are accessible through readable PDF files, basically. It makes it a lot easier for us to search for different subjects. And then down at the bottom, down there, we have Jim Erkey, who is a volunteer, and then also our custodian, Robert Weber. They were part of the backroom overhaul and moved that really huge card catalog. I heard it was a process. I wasn't here that day. But thank you guys for doing that, so we have room so we can create a workbench.
Okay, so the board year in review, the board, you can read these for yourselves, but basically the board has increased the number of times that we are meeting, and we're doing some study sessions and some board action so that we can make more efficient use of our time. And we're highly focused on the fact that we're coming up on our 100th anniversaries of the Nicolet County Historical Society, and we're trying to position ourselves into the next 100 years. Who are we? What do we want to do? Which means development and fundraising for certain. And then we want to make sure that we're structuring everything as we go into that process so that we have the correct staff and the resources that meet the needs of the public. I'll take it. Okay, the challenges that we have ahead, and we have those, okay? We have increased costs. Everything is costing more as we go through, and everyone knows that. Our cash flow has been somewhat steady, but our limited, our supplies are static, and we have certain things that we rely on. The Cox House presents kind of an ongoing cost effectiveness challenge for us, and we're looking at that. Our building expenses, the aging facility, the fact that things are old here, and we do need to be paying attention to that. There are long-term and short-term space limitations, and all of the restructuring from the public-facing last year and the behind-the-scenes this year, we're doing the best we can with that. The HVAC and roof repair, we have big money coming in with that because of the fact that those are aging facilities. So we do know that that's going to be something that needs to be dealt with. And also, just because of the HVAC and the lighting challenges that we have, We can't have some of the exhibits that museums ordinarily have, just simply because of the lighting problems that we have and the air quality kinds of things. So those are ongoing questions that we have. Oops, sorry. I'll go back. It's okay? All right, so those are our ongoing challenges. Now, at this point, does anyone have any questions or comments or anything? All right, we're going to, I had some? Yes, sir.
Could you go into a little more detail on item 3 there regarding the cot house? What exactly that means?
Okay, we have upgraded the facility itself. We've had it painted and it's been, the windows have been redone and the deck the porch has been done and all that. The problem that we have is really getting people to go there. Everybody loves the Cox House, but people, when we have events and so on, they don't draw the kind of population coming through to support it that we need. So we're having to do some creative planning on that.
And I can speak a little bit more to that. We had really low attendance at the programs at the Cox House this past summer. We had a lot of board members show up and a lot of volunteers, some of the usual faces, but all in all, we only had about 30 people attend programs across the summer. We did have more folks show up for some of the tours, but we went through a marketing study a couple years ago. We have done a lot following that strategy. We've tried to put programs in place that the public has really said that they were interested in, but we're just not reaching the right people. So we're looking at some different marketing initiatives to maybe try to get the house in front of folks. We're going to be trying this summer some self-guided tour options so that folks don't feel like they have to schedule a big group tour to go through the house. And we're also going to be putting an art exhibit at the house this summer, so a little 2-for-1 kind of thing. We're going to be displaying some of the Marian Anderson artworks, and Marian Anderson was born and raised up by Nicolette before she moved on. So we're going to be putting some of her prints on display, as well as having the house open for some tours. We're just hoping to try some different angles and see really what works, because we're not seeing a lot of attraction there with folks coming in to visit, but we do see a lot of public support for the house, so we're trying to draw on that a little bit more. Does that answer your question, Dick?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a tough location out there out of the way.
Yeah, it is a little bit, not on the main drag, and we also lost our MnDOT sign that we used to have on 169 because the house isn't open 40 hours a week. So we lost the wayfinding sign there, so that's unfortunate for us. Now we don't get traffic that's just drive by anymore.
Okay, so those are the concerns that we're working on in this next year. All right, now we have the final business of the day, which is the elections. These are the candidates that the nominating committee has put forward as a slate. Tacey Schwartz from North Mankato as a new director. And we have John Smithers from St. Peter, who is going to continue on in his term as a director. And then we have this slate of officers, that Kate Martin's person, Tammy Skinner as vice president, Scott Hermanson for secretary, and Denny Schmidt as treasurer. I just want to extend a thank you to Dana because he was more or less conscripted into the position of being secretary this year. But this is the slate of candidates that the nominating committee is presenting to you as our choice for the board of directors for next year. Do I hear any nominations from the floor? Do I hear any nominations from the floor? Do I hear any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to unanimously approve the board of directors slate. All right, we have a motion, and then I need a second.
Second.
Okay, second. All right. Is there any discussion on this slate of candidates? Hearing none, I would like all who are in favor of approving these candidates for the next year's board of directors to please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Thank you. That concludes the elections, and I will also entertain a motion to adjourn the business meeting. And a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Then I'm going to declare this business meeting for 2023 closed. And I do want to say thank you. I don't think we would have gotten this turnout on this Sunday where we had that snow cancellation. We really appreciate this. And let me tell you, we're considering when we have our annual meeting next year. We're looking at this. All right, thank you very much.